You think you've found love. It feels electric, as if life suddenly matters more, as if your soul has been set alight. But what if that spark isn't Magishit's bait? A calculated move by nature, not to elevate you, but to trap you. Arthur Schopenhauer didn't see love as beautiful. He saw it as nature's most cunning deception. A disguise used to hook you into servitude. In his bleak view, women weren't villains, but they weren't innocent either. They were tools of nature's will, designed not to connect with you, but to ensnare you. Every smile, every tender word, every moment of warmth was, to him, an evolutionary trap. A method for the species to continue, even if it meant sacrificing you in the process. Love, in this context, wasn't romantic. It was a scheme. A biological illusion crafted to keep you chasing, wanting, reproducing, and suffering. The more a man surrendered to love, the deeper he fell into the trap. His autonomy? Replaced by craving. His clarity? Fogged by emotion. What felt like joy was, in Schopenhauer's eyes, submission. A man enslaved by his instincts. This wasn't heartbreak, it was metaphysical betrayal. A cosmic manipulation. The will, Schopenhauer's term for life's primal force, didn't care about your happiness. It only cared about survival, about reproduction. And it would wear any mask, including love, to get what it wanted. Women, he believed, were the will's finest mask. Not malicious beings, but puppets of nature's deeper agenda. Their charm wasn't for your benefit. It was strategy. Seduction disguised as affection. A honeyed path leading you to sacrifice. And the tragedy? You'd go willingly. Love doesn't hit you like a sword, it disarms you like a lullaby. You think you're choosing. But in reality, you're being chosen. Not by her, but by biology. And once you're in, the game changes. Passion turns into expectation. Connection morphs into obligation. Freedom dissolves into routine. Schopenhauer didn't just critique women, he exposed the system. A machine that uses beauty as bait and love as the hook. A man in love, to him, was already conquered. He'd trade his purpose for promises, his ambition for affection, and he'd believe it was noble. But behind every sonnet, Schopenhauer saw strategy. Behind every vow, necessity. And behind every woman, the will unseen but always pulling the strings. He wasn't condemning individuals. He was diagnosing the architecture of life. Marriage, in his worldview, was the final lock. Not a sanctuary, but a sentence. The illusion complete. The man now bound by duty. Not loved used. Not liberated trapped. And the woman? Mission accomplished. Not with evil intent, but as nature designed. To Schopenhauer, femininity itself was a form of silent domination. Not through strength, but through vulnerability. A kind of emotional warfare where the weapon was weakness. A man sees tears and thinks compassion. But those tears, in Schopenhauer's philosophy, were evolution's oldest tactic. They disarm you. They make you yield. And soon, you're bending, sacrificing, forgetting who you were. All in the name of what? A fantasy? A lie whispered sweetly enough to sound like truth. He saw love as the most beautiful form of bondage. A chain you clasp on your own wrist. And once it's there, you'll defend it. You'll call it devotion. But it's still a chain. The war, he said, is silent. A tug of war under the illusion of harmony. Men think they're building something lasting. But they're being worn down, shaped, redirected by desires that aren't their own. And women, whether they realize it or not, play the role assigned to them by life itself. Schopenhauer's vision is not romantic. It's ruthless. He believed that love begins as seduction and ends as captivity. And unless you see it for what it is, you'll walk the same path as every man before you, willing, blind, hopeful. To him, liberation didn't come from winning in love. It came from refusing to play. Real freedom, he claimed, was found in detachment. In stepping away from the dance entirely. Not because you're bitter, but because you understand. You see the strings. You recognize the performance. And you decide not to audition. That clarity, he believed, was the only escape. Not joy. Not peace. But awareness. The power to look at the illusion and see through it. To know that every soft touch, every lingering gaze, every promise of forever might just be nature calling you back to the wheel. A wheel built not for your happiness, but for your obedience. So the question remains, will you chase the mirage and call it love? Or will you see the trap and call it what it truly is, enslavement in disguise?